if you're convinced that it's what you want to do, like you're just like thinking about it nonstop and you're like, this is what I want, or you watch YouTube videos and you're like, I want to be this person, then I feel like it's what you should try. Like you should go for it. So that's the first thing, is like, don't just give up on it because it seems impossible. Okay, I am Fluump. That is not my name, obviously. That's just my like YouTuber name. And I guess primarily I'm a YouTuber.
You mean
Rocket
it wasn't
League
put on
YouTuber.
your birth certificate, just Fluump?
No, they gave me a better name than that. They were better at choosing names than I was, so.
Okay, so I'm just going to rapid fire some questions at you, and we're just going to go from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
All right, wrong, but okay.
No.
If you consume media that is not on the internet, comedy or horror?
I would say those are both pretty low on my totem pole.
Okay, that is
like
fine.
I would say comedy, probably.
What's higher on your totem pole?
Like comedy would be higher. Oh wait, other things that are higher.
Yeah, like what would be higher if those are low on your totem pole?
I guess just like drama, like
Yeah.
I like
drama.
crime stuff. Like crime stuff is what I like, honestly.
Oh, crime is great. Okay. Favorite Rocket League song?
Dude, music has been off on Rocket League for me for years.
Oh, well, you know
Like,
what? Favorite song in life?
Favorite song? Like my favorite song right now or of all time?
Both.
Oh my goodness.
If you're not going to listen
that's
to
like-
the Rocket League soundtrack, then I'm going to make this more complicated for you.
That's so hard. That is so hard. I feel like if I were to say my favorite song of all time, I feel like it would be an Eminem song.
There's
Probably.
nothing wrong with that. Eminem's great.
But probably like either one of his really old ones, like one of his really old, just like graphic ones, or like Rap God. I don't know. I know like every Eminem song. Yeah, I would say Eminem, something by Eminem probably for all time. And then right now, I don't know. I heard a really cute song by Pink singing with her daughter, who's like 8 years old. It's amazing. Her daughter's really good at singing.
I'm sorry. Can we just like point out the like gap there? It's either going to be like
Yeah.
old school graphic Eminem or Pink singing with her 8-year-old daughter, and like they're
Yes.
of the vast in between there.
Well, I live in like the reason we listened to it is because my wife showed it to us while we were driving, because we listen to music all the time in the car, but we obviously listen to stuff that like my kids can listen to. We don't listen to Eminem.
You don't listen to Rap God in front of your children.
No, I don't, but I'm excited for the day when I can like show my kids all the music I love.
The rite
That's
of
terrible.
passage. That's gonna be the rite of passage. It's gonna be like, I can listen to the music I want in front of you, and you will enjoy
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Okay. Least favorite condiment. You consume food? I'm kidding.
Trojan. Trojan's my least favorite. That's not that great of a brand, honestly. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I was pretending you said condom, not condiment. Okay, I'll answer. My least favorite condiment.
I need you to know that I just got monetized on YouTube.
You
Like
can
I
cut that all
tweeted
out.
about it today. About how like I just got monetized on YouTube.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be the intro to the video. That one right
Yes,
there.
I love it. I love it. Hopefully you lose all your monetization. Now they don't care. Least favorite condiment. Dude, I don't know if I have
I
a
ask
least.
this every single video. So
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't think I have a least favorite condiment necessarily, but I feel like what I will say is I don't care for ketchup that much. Like if I eat fries, I don't put ketchup on it. Like I'll dip my fries in.
That is the right answer.
I'll dip my fries in barbecue sauce before I dip them in ketchup. Like
That is why this is asked, and I forgive you not listening to Monster Cat Legacy music and mentioning
You
condoms
agree with me on this?
my. Oh, I hate ketchup. I ask this.
Yeah.
I ask this every video because I despise ketchup, and I'm slowly building an army of the
Yes.
very few people around the world who despise ketchup as much as I, so that we can
I
just go,
don't
like
know.
burn the factories
I
down
bet
to the
I
ground.
don't. I bet I don't despise it as much as you. It sounds like, but I won't use it as a condiment.
So
Other
you
than
don't want to burn the factories down to the ground,
No.
is what you're saying? Oh,
they
fine.
can stay, I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
If there's
Yeah.
not if we're gonna curveball with the least favorite condiment, I'll switch it up. Least favorite child. I'm kidding.
Least
I'm kidding.
favorite
I'm
child.
kidding. I'm
Easy.
kidding.
No, just kidding.
Oh
that's
God,
awesome.
no. Oh, sorry. Okay, a favorite. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's really funny. That's my kind of humor right there.
I was not expecting the easy. I was not expecting the easy. So that was great. All right, what do you think the most overrated item is in Rocket League? You've been creating content around Rocket League. You've been probably assuming content around Rocket League, watching it change over the year. What do you think the most overrated item in the game is?
That's a really good question. Oh my goodness. I can't say like alpha items because I think they're pretty cool. See, you know what I mean? Like they could be so lame. I used
to be that person. Who was like, it's stupid. You know?
Yeah.
I used to be like, who would pay? And I still think it's stupid. Like, who would pay that much money for an in-game boost? But like, if somebody was like, do you want it? And I would use it every single second of every single day.
Yes, 100%. And it's clean. Like those items look pretty cool. So that's really hard. And like, I like Cristianos. So
there's just no. I was just talking about this on a little bit ago on my last one. I just Oof. I think
I don't use them. I don't use them.
Sweat tires.
Black Octavians. If you're wanting to go for like a sweaty kind of just plain but like cool tire, that's what I use. So I'm not a big item guy, so that's like an impossible question for me. I don't even know.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not skilled at the game I play every day, so I latch on to the other things, you know, the physical attributes of Rocket League. But okay, switching gears to, you know, what we do and, you know, Rocket League and, you know, creating content and things there. You have been creating content in Rocket League for a long time now. I feel like there's, since free to play and over the past year and, you know, global pandemics and things like that, there's been a array of new faces on the scene, and so many new things being introduced and new opportunities and free to play and events and things like that. What is your favorite thing that has been introduced since you started playing Rocket League?
Introduced like by Psyonix?
It could be either. It could be. That's a vast question. What's been your favorite just change over the years?
That's a really good question. I'm just gonna say that when I'm like thinking. Yes. No, it is really good.
Keep boosting my ego. It's great.
Yeah. So, I think. I think that this isn't necessarily like added by Psyonix or anything like that, but in the community, just seeing the shift of content go. I mean, the old content creators are awesome, and like the whole world of content creation from the early days with like Neat Mike and all those people, and Woofles and John and all those. Obviously, John is still creating content, but like that was a fun world. But I'm glad for the way that it has changed, honestly, because I think like it's just become so much better for content creators. Like, for example, a lot of those content creators, like Neat Mike never really did sponsored things, for example. And now like content creators, I think partially because of people like Sunless, and I hope I'm a part of this, we've made it so that you can be sponsored. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we had to go through all the hate of getting like, you know, called sellouts. Yeah, because of how pure like people like Neat Mike and them were. And I think it's just the content world is just like awesome right now for Rocket League. It's such that like if you're good at making videos, you can make like 10 videos and have like 100,000 subs. Like it's just insane. And I don't know. I think the whole new world of content is probably the coolest shift. And now I'm seeing like, dude, there's this guy I'm watching who he's getting suggested to me like crazy. He's just like hits like a flip reset. It's like a 12-second video on YouTube, and he's getting like 80,000 views. I'm like, yes.
YouTube Shorts. I will take this moment to piggyback on this. Because I already mentioned, like, I just hit, because I just started like the YouTube grind or whatever, and I was trying to find the things to fill in the time between videos. YouTube Shorts are game changer. There are people, I think one of the first people in the Rocket League community to start using them was Tryhouse, like who was already active. in the Rocket League community, and he was on the podcast one day, and he was just like, I posted a YouTube short of just one of the edited videos I post on TikTok, and it got like 60,000 views.
That's crazy.
Overnight, and it's just like, because it's not like TikTok is an amazing. I'm just gonna rant for a second. TikTok is an amazing place for Rocket League growth right now. What it is doing for creators is out of this world, insane. If you can crack that or whatever, but the algorithm is complicated. You know what I mean? Like you could have 10, 50,000 viewed videos in a row and then get a 300 viewed one. And I'm saying that very saltily. But like that's how that works. But on YouTube, it's pushing it out the same way it would push out a YouTube video. And if your shorts start doing good, they just spiral. It's amazing. There are so many tools that are utilizing specifically for the Rocket League community, like you were saying, like the Rocket League content is just changed. And that is really interesting thanks to you guys.
I feel like I don't know a lot about like what you're even totally talking about, like what's happening with YouTube Shorts. I don't know a ton about that, but that is super interesting. I mean, I know what a YouTube Short is, but I didn't realize that. Like in this guy's case, I guess I was kind of highlighting just the fact that like he wasn't hitting the craziest shots ever. It was just like, you know, a little better than I can hit, and it was just like literally his videos. They weren't even shorts. Like they were just actual videos, and they were getting like 70,000 views. And I'm just like, that shows me that there's so much interest in the game. And so many people who are like, oh my God, that's the greatest shot I've ever seen. And that means content is, I think, in like a good place. But yeah, that's very interesting. And TikTok, I don't follow like anything on TikTok. I don't even have TikTok anymore.
I if you can stay away from it and still do fine, I fully recommend it. It's a different breed. I just agree. It's just amazing to see how content is being consumed. And I feel like, and at least for myself, when I started being a content creator, one of my I think that like my shining moment, so many great things have happened, but like the shining moment was that so many people believe that you can't stream or YouTube or create content unless you're like the best player in the world. But that's not true.
No, I'm just kidding.
I will fight you.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right.
No, but like and so many people still believe that. And so I just love this push of content. This push of content. If you can ignore the trolls and haters that are in every video game and every piece of content creation ever from anyone, gaming, makeup, beauty, lifestyle, just existing on the internet. Like if you can ignore that, you realize there are people who will consume that content if it's entertaining. And if you're happy about it. But anyway, your content, switching to your content, what is your favorite collab you've ever done?
I should tell you my least favorite collab.
That was my never mind, but
that wasn't your follow-up.
That was kind of my follow-up, but it was going to be a joke, but you can do it. You can lead with that.
Okay, I'll lead with it. I mean, so funny little story. One time, when I'd first started, like, I don't know, maybe I don't know how many subs I had. I had like 20, 30,000 subs or something like that, maybe. Deadmau5 was on Twitter, and he tweeted, he tweeted, does anybody want to play Rocket League? Because he was just, at this point, he wasn't playing anymore or anything. Do you know who Deadmau5 is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Of course you know who Deadmau5 is.
I'm on the older end of the Rocket League community like you.
Okay. Gotcha.
Not these free-to-play kids.
Okay, sweet, good. Yeah, I figured. So he, anyways, he tweeted that, or something happened where he was on Twitter, and I think he might have even not even been playing, and I just responded to one of his tweets and was like, "Want to play Rocket League?" Because he was streaming PUBG, and he was like, "Sure, like, when do you want to play?" And I was at work, and I was like, "Well, I could play like tonight, maybe." And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna play right now if you want to play." And I was coming home from work for my 1 hour lunch break, and I played Rocket League with him for an hour. And you can find the stream. I turned it into a video. It got like no views. I had to cut out all the like.
You repost now.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. But I cut out all of the awkward like awfulness of it because, like, it was just awful, honestly. And I didn't know really who he was. And now that I know who he is, it makes more sense. Like that's just how he is. Like he's just kind of a dick to everyone.
Yeah. And, no.
Yeah. It was so at one point he like someone in game knew who I was. And he like laughed at it. He thought he like, oh, that's cute. Like somebody knows who you are. You like, you know, you think you're like big basically. And then another point, I was talking to him. This is all on his Twitch.
What?
I found the original video. He also was like, I told him I was going to make a video out of it. He didn't even know I was a YouTuber. And I was like, I'm going to make a video out of this. And he's like, well, it might get a copy striked. And I was like, why? And he's like, I'm deadmau5. Like, and I was like, so I can put on YouTube, I'm playing Rocket League with deadmau5. Like, that's not going to get a copy strike. And he's like, I don't know. It was this like, you know who I am kind of thing.
Why even ask people to play with you? Like,
I don't know. It was so awkward and so weird and got like no views. And I was like, why did I do this? It's hilarious to me.
Cool. Like, that's why you did it. Because
I learned something.
Dude,
I learned something from that. I was like, okay, doesn't matter who I am, because there's levels, right? There's someone who has 10,000 subs, and then maybe there's like somebody like me in terms of how people view like famousness, and then maybe there's somebody like Sunless or Musty or whatever, and then there's people like Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Mr.
And in my
Beast.
mind, I kind of jumped a long ways there from Musty to Leonardo DiCaprio, but I pretty much told myself like, it doesn't matter who I am, it doesn't matter how cool people think I am or how famous I am. Like, I'm never gonna treat people the way I was just treated, like, no matter what, because that's so awful. Like, it was just so awful. The whole thing was awful.
Horrible. That's horrible. Okay, I'm gonna switch it to something a little bit more positively.
Okay.
Okay. I'll switch the question up. Dream collab you haven't done, whether it's a person or a sponsor or like a YouTuber or a celebrity. Who is somebody you would want to collab with?
Oh, that's a really interesting question.
I would say the word there.
Yes. I use it while I'm thinking. It's just filler, but it is interesting. Interesting for me to think about. In terms of like a sponsor, I always wanted to be sponsored by Zevia, which is like an off-brand, or not an off-brand, but an alternative like soda that is flavored with stevia, and it's really good, and I like it, and I like their company.
Zevia, if you're listening.
Yeah, Zevia, if you're out there.
You'll find my YouTube channel before his, I guess. I don't know.
I've talked about Zevia in my videos before, just to try to plug it. Anyways, I don't even drink it anymore, but I think it's a cool company. I don't really think about like people wise who I would want to collab with. It's just YouTube is it's still a lonely game for me, and I just do it on my own. It's not terrible.
Fair. No, that's completely fair. I am full seriously sending it the opposite direction, and talking.
That's a good thing
with people like you. I don't get enough social interaction anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stuck in a house with a bunch of gamer guys, so you know this is my escape. I mean, this is fun content, getting to know the Rocket League community.
Yes, it's awesome, honestly.
Okay, best team in the world right now.
I'm really curious to see like BDS play one of the, and it play like Energy.
I want it so bad. I want Worlds.
Yeah.
Like, everyone keeps having the conversation, and
just have it. Just have it. Not necessarily like live, but just have it. Like, who cares? Not live. Just switch back and forth from servers. Everybody's on the East Coast anyways. Like, just go back and forth servers and let's see who wins.
Yep.
Like,
East to you. However, like, on the flip side, like, I want Epic
lame.
to just full send with Rocket League and do what League of Legends did. Like, League of Legends had a bubble land where like people couldn't go. They made sure everybody was safe and taking, you know what I mean? Everyone was still separated.
And they do
you're
testing
living with
and everything.
Your teams anyway, so you're just staying with the teams that you're already living with. Everything's protected. The second you're done, you're sent out safely. You leave, and I would love to see that.
Yes, me too. I think you're right, and I think it's doable because it is very difficult with a sport like football where you've got to test and quarantine like 50 players on a team. But with Rocket League, it's literally 3 players and a coach or something.
Yep.
Like,
you're gonna send 3 players and a coach, and you don't need anybody else. And most of them are already living together.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you. That's what we should do. And to answer that, I feel like BDS might be. I think if Rogue is playing really good, man. I don't know.
Did you watch the Rogue Energy?
Yeah. Holy crap, dude. Rogue is so good, but they're just not quite as consistent as like Energy. Like, Energy is just, they're always good. You know what I mean?
They're always good. And I'm obviously biased towards SSG, and it was unfortunate the way SSG went out, and I think they played their heart out. I think they came into it, the way they always do.
They just got unfortunate having to play Rogue that match.
I think it, when they lost Rogue, everyone at first was like, oh, you lost Rogue, but then you saw how Rogue played the rest of it. Dude. I don't think there could have been another team to lose to. And I don't think, in fairness, in my opinion, I don't think SSG would have lost to a different team. Rogue woke up and said, we're going to make it to the grand finals, and they did. Yeah. And it was phenomenal, and it was tragic when they didn't win it. You can love energy all you want. I just I think deep down everyone in the world was rooting for Rogue to just blow up everything.
I always root for the underdogs in RLCS. I can't help it.
Okay.
Always.
Sorry, I could talk about that for forever. That was the greatest series I've watched in a long time. I asked you what was your favorite thing that's changed in Rocket League over the years. Is there anything that you miss that's left? Or that's changed too much? Or that's different? Anything you reminisce on? I'm gonna throw a lot of words at you. Fill the air.
Yeah. I'm going to force you to cut out all the blank spots where I'm thinking.
Oh, you can just fill it with I'll have a counter for every time you told me it was a really good question.
That's
and then
at the end,
it's just going to be this level it's just going to be a level of me, my ego soaring through the roof.
Yes.
We can skip that one.
I don't think I have an answer for that.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. We'll keep it moving. We'll keep it moving. So I read a while back that before you found Rocket League, you were not a gamer. Yeah. You got introduced to Rocket League. What was it about Rocket League that hooked you?
I think that for me, I could have been a gamer for a lot of different games, but I had never been exposed really to competitive gaming. The only competitive gaming I'd been exposed to was Call of Duty, and that just didn't click for me, and I was bad at it. And I always felt like no matter how much I grind at this, I'm going to be bad at it. That was the only game I'd really played, which isn't true. If I'd have grinded the way I did at Rocket League, I would have been good at it. Just like you are. If you put in thousands of hours into anything, you'll be good at it. You know what I mean? Or at least somewhat good. So
the double down was for me.
Yes, exactly. I don't know, dude. I have a ton of hours in Rocket League, and I'm not that good. I have way more hours than I should.
But you're a content creator. A lot of those hours are content creation. I went on a rant the other day about this.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I do play a lot, though. I will say, I play a good amount, and I'm not ranking up. So it's hard right now, man. It's hard. But I would say it felt like a sports game. That was the biggest thing. I played it just for fun one time while we were sort of messing around playing Call of Duty a little bit. Just me and my friend would play every now and then. But prior to that, no. I played Lord of the Rings on GameCube when I was a kid, and other than that, Call of Duty a couple times in college, and then I had played Call of Duty a little bit for fun with my friend, and then we found Rocket League for free, and then I was completely hooked. But I think it's just that it was it felt like a sports game. It felt like there were things I could work on. And grind. I loved the idea of going into free play and learning how to carry the ball on top of my car. And that's just nothing like that in Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now there are other games that are mechanic heavy, but I think it's the sport element and the mechanic element. It felt like learning to dribble a basketball between my legs. You know what I mean? It felt like that when I was playing it.
There's a lot of thought process into it. It's not just a lot of muscle memory, obviously, but it's not just repetition. It's not just pressing buttons. It's thinking thoroughly about what you're doing next.
Yep.
And everything there. Okay. Switching back to that question I asked you about your least favorite child earlier.
Yes.
Anyway,
we need to get to that one.
Anyways, no, but you are, outside of a content creator, outside of a gamer, you're also a dad. So what's it like doing both of those things? What's it like balancing life, as a husband, a dad, a content creator?
Honestly, this is in my opinion, the best sort of situation for me with having kids, because I just have a lot of flexibility and freedom. I would say more in the last year, I have become more busy and work a lot, not a ton, but there was a big period of time there where I was working 8 to 7:30 or 8 to noon, and maybe do a little bit of stuff at night here and there. And obviously you're kind of always on with your phone and stuff, but that was pretty much it. I was only working 30 some hours a week or something like that. Now I guess I work more 50 hours a week. But no, it's awesome. If tomorrow, today, it was let's go get groceries, and we all went and got groceries, and It was, 10 in the morning. And whenever we do stuff like that, I'm like, man, I couldn't have done this if I were just going to an office every day, So
yeah. I know they've been in a couple of your videos over the years, but do your kids like Rocket League?
Yeah, actually, they don't really play it, but like if they have a chance to grab the controller, it's kind of weird because like for me, gaming is obviously on my PC, like in my office area, which is actually our bedroom. But like every time they get a chance to grab the controller and like I let them play for a little bit, they think it's like the funniest thing ever, but like they have no idea how to play. Like I think they could figure it out probably,
Teach
but
them.
I should, I guess. I don't know.
Grow them into professional Rocket League esports players.
I know. I don't know, man. We just do other stuff.
No, I know. I'm just teasing.
I know. That thought is, it's not really, it sounds crazy, but I don't really want my kids to be gamers, honestly. Like
that's fair.
We do stuff. We go to the beach and like we're kind of learning how to pathetically surf and stuff. I don't know. I'd rather them do that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. For me, gaming was like, it's good now and it's healthy. It was like when I was obsessed with Rocket League, but not doing content, it was like kind of not good for me in some ways. So
got to make content out of it to make it rationalized to play the video games this much a day.
Exactly.
Well, no, you were just talking about, like working in an office and, how, if you were working in an office, you wouldn't be able to do the things that you get to do and things there. What was it like making the jump to being a content creator who played video games instead of, working in an office and more stable?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think my situation is a little bit unique. I don't know. Are there any other Rocket League? There's not. Well, now there are some, but at the time there were very few Rocket League YouTubers who like had a kid or kids already and started content and then left their traditional job. Like I think John was already making content before his
I wouldn't say he necessarily left a traditional job either.
That's true. Yes.
Beforehand.
And his son
there are newer ones now like Flash Force and so many people are gamers and parents. And then on the flip
even
side,
like Rocket Sledge too, right? Like he has a kid.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. And his kid's older, I think. But yeah, it was weird. It was weird. It was kind of hard at first, like just being at home and, being around them all the time, which sounds terrible. But like, when you're like the spouse who goes to work all the time, it's just you live kind of a different life in some ways than in my case, my wife was just home with our kids and with our kids at that time. So like, now I love it. Like I'm a stay-at-home dad, I guess, on some level, and I love it. But it was definitely like a transition. And now I'm just like, now I have a system. So for example, I don't record audio in the morning really ever. I just have set it aside so that like I will record it at night when they go to bed, because it's just in our situation, I don't have like an office that is like soundproof or anything. So they are just, there's always noise in the background. So I just do other stuff during the day and then I record at night. So.
They're giving you a routine though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, they give you that break and that time to like not overwhelm yourself in the mornings and things.
Yep.
How do you unwind from all of this, whether that's with your family or alone? How do you just unwind from like, unplug from busy life and working? And especially I feel like a lot of people have trouble doing that when they work from home, or at least I know I do. When you're working at home and then you're just like walking down the hall or something like that, it's harder. It's amazing. It's a privilege. It's incredible. I went from working an office job for 6 years to creating content, but yeah, you have to remind yourself to do things, to unplug. So how does Fluump unwind?
I agree with you, by the way. That's where I'm at too. Like it is hard a lot of times to, like, I'll sit down to read a book and my brain just starts like going and I'm like, why can't I sit and my wife reads like, so much. And I'm just like, why can't I sit and read the way you can?
See, pain, because I grew up a bookworm. Like that was my escape. It wasn't video games when I was growing up. It was reading.
You'd really like my wife then.
Yeah, like it was everything. I have the most beautiful, like in our upstairs, like we have the most beautiful bookshelf that like when we moved in, I like decorated and put like memorabilia at the top and like books all down it. And I had bought a bunch of books before I moved that I was going to get to reading. and I haven't read a single one of them since I moved in, because every time I go to read anything, I just think, hey, what could I be doing right now?
Yep.
Because it's down the hall. Work is down the hall.
Yep. Yeah. Like your mental space is full. You know what I mean? That's how I feel a lot of the times. But I do read, I guess, so that is one thing. Fail sometimes. Sometimes I pull out my phone and I'm just on my phone. But I read. I have a random hobby that no one knows about.
Well, spill it to the world right now.
Okay, I'll spill it to the world.
This will be my video that goes viral, so the world will know your secret.
Yeah, this one's getting 1 million views, right? So I've been into motorcycles off and on for like my entire life, and I'd always wanted to own one. But anyways, I'm very into like vintage old motorcycles. So I'm like restoring an old motorcycle and kind of learning like how to do that whole process, which is like this sort of like almost like an ancient craft with all sorts of difficult things involved in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like restoring like a 70-year-old like British motorcycle right now, and that's something it's hard to call it unwinding because it's like difficult.
You have to share a photo of it when it's finished.
Dude, it's going to be amazing. It is the jankiest looking thing ever. It's pretty cool though. It's cool, but I don't know if I'm going to literally restore it to like perfection. I just want it to get it running.
You just want it to be running. I as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters. Because like you said, it's your hobby. It's your unwind. No, that's awesome though. That's completely awesome. We actually went a little bit over here. This was just really fun talking. But really quick, I like to wrap up these conversations with asking you a question that you don't really answer to me. You answer to people who are watching or listening. With a piece of advice for them. You left and I completely read your community spotlight, which you should read about Fluump, and everything there. You left, more of a office job. You had a family, you had kids already when you started creating content, and things like that. What is advice you have for somebody who is looking to leave something that is more like looked at as conventional to go into content creation? What's a piece of advice you would give them? Because that's something that I talk about. That's something that I did, and that's something that you do. What's your advice to them?
I feel like the first thing is like, if you're convinced that it's what you want to do, like you're just like thinking about it nonstop and you're like, this is what I want, or you watch YouTube videos and you're like, I want to be this person, then I feel like it's what you should try. Like you should go for it. So that's the first thing, is like, don't just give up on it because it seems impossible. In my case, like I had no idea how to edit videos. I still am not that good at it, but like it works. But I started by learning how to edit videos. Learn as you go. Yeah. So, but I would just say like the biggest thing is learn from your mistakes. Like once you start doing it, if you're not somebody who is willing to learn, not necessarily from mistakes, but just learn from what works and what doesn't work. Like if something isn't working, and you got to be able to see that. And the people who make it see that. And the people who, like Sunless is a great example. I got to like do that with him. He's a great example of somebody who learned what didn't work and learned what did work and just went with it. And, like that. And I feel like I am still doing that a lot. But if you can't, there's just a lot of people who don't see it. You know what I mean? They don't. And there's a lot of content creators who try and fail. And it's because like they don't see that like it isn't necessarily what people want, which sounds just like so brutal.
No, but here's another thing on that, like piggybacking on that, is like to not take it personally.
Yes, totally.
And that's something that I struggled with, I have like as somebody who takes everything personal. I picked a horrible profession because I'm a streamer. And so I picked a horrible profession for someone who takes everything someone says personally. But no, like I feel like that is very important, learning what does not work at the moment. And I think I talked to Waiton in a couple of videos back. And what I think it was Waiton. Was it Waiton? who said, and I will remember this later and I will regret it. I will censor, I will edit a voiceover of who actually said this. But what they said is they were like, you have to realize that there are just some things that won't work for your channel at the time.
Yeah.
No, it was Rocket Sledge. I hate myself. No, but he said it's realizing that there are some things that you can't do at a smaller size.
Yeah.
It's not going to pop off the way it worked for somebody else. Yep. You know what I mean? And 100%. It's not necessarily going to do as good as it would for somebody else, or if you had a larger following, or maybe that's just not the best thing to introduce your channel with. And to not take that personally. That's just how content works. If you can see a million other people who are good at editing, who have been doing this for forever, who have that big ridiculous idea and all the money, you know what I mean, to do it, it doesn't necessarily hurt them to drop all that money on it. You know what I mean, and get that out there, or to spend all that time on it, or work on a video that takes absolutely for forever. And that's not to defeat you and to tell you not to do those ideas. It's just to tell you, like, if it fails and you still want to do this, that is what makes you a content creator who should keep going. Yeah. Because if you still want to create content after that, do it. Because the content creating is failing a million times before. I mean, there are exceptions, obviously. And I think a lot of the newer, I'm ranting, but I think a lot of the newer generation of people are so used to apps and things like that make people blow up overnight. Yeah. And that can still happen at any single moment. But for the majority of people out there, that will happen one day after you've consistently just kept going. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Oh God. And the hardest part is with like you're saying, just keep like going and failing and continuing to work and continuing to like try to make new stuff is just the drain of like seeing something not work is very hard. Like that's one of the hardest parts about YouTube, and it's why some people struggle with YouTube, even though they I don't know. It's tough when you upload and you work really hard at something. You got to be like ready for that. You got to be able to handle that. And yeah, because on one hand, you don't want to, like you said, on one hand, you don't want to pay attention to those numbers and let them consume you, or only be worried about that. But on the flip side, you want to know how your stuff is doing, so that you know what works. Like you said, like see if it doesn't work, to not do it again. And so we picked a wonderful profession, you know. We picked a wonderful profession to constantly have to be worried about what we're putting out there. But I think people like you touched on earlier, people like you and Sunless and everybody who's been creating content and paving the way for everybody made it a lot easier for communities like the Rocket League community to have a place where they could try and fail and succeed at content and be welcomed, because you guys kind of paved the way for creative content that stood out. So thank you so much for paving the way, but also thank you for doing this interview. Fluump, tell everyone where to find you.
Well, you can find me on YouTube. I don't know if it's youtube.com/Fluump. I have no idea. I think
I'll put the link below no matter what.
Yeah, so YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. I think that's Fluump or Fluump1. I don't know. If you type in Fluump, it'll be the first one. We'll find it, yeah. Yeah, and then Twitter, Fluumpy90 on Twitter, actually. So Fluumpy.
You couldn't get 90. Fluump on Twitter?
No. Yeah, no. Even when I was with an org, it didn't happen.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Twitter.
It's so stupid. I mean, my name's Widow. It's impossible for me to get it on anything but Twitch.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Mine is literally a made-up name for that reason.
Yeah, that's the reason I was shocked that you can't get that one. What? Yeah. Oh, okay. But anyway, you will be able to find Fluump at all the links below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel so I can keep releasing these, and let me know people you would love to see on, and let me know your favorite part of this interview, and just let me know things and comments and all of that wonderful stuff. But seriously, thank you guys for watching, and Fluump, thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. Good night, guys.
Nice.